Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors card review video. This video, I'll be taking a look at one of the jackpot cards from the new Monster Strike collaboration seal, Elusive Thief Arsene Phantom Mode. This is going to be a Dark Human card, and I'll be taking a look at her leader skills, team skills, and active skills, and letting you know my opinions about this card. So without further ado, let's get cracking at her leader skill. Monster Strike and Dark members will have an attack increase of 7.5. HP on recovery increases by 1.8, and HP of Monster Strike members will increase by 1.2 additionally. Furthermore, runestone movement time increases by 2 seconds regardlessly. By dissolving all runestones in the column below the leader or ally in the first batch, you get an additional team attack of ×4. If you dissolve both the columns below the leader and the ally, you get an additional 1.5 attack increase. Now let's take a look at the team skills. When the leader is both Elusive Thief Arsene Phantom Mode, you have that all attributive runestones will possess the effect of Dark Runes. Dark Runes will possess 50% the effect of Heart Runes. For every group of runestones dissolved in the first batch, one enchanted rune will be generated in the column below each Monster Strike member of its attribute and race. Clear the negative state of petrified runes touched while moving, and tornado will be ignored. You will not be stopped when you touch a tornado. If the damage received is less than 20% of your total HP, that damage received will be lowered to 1. This includes damage dealt by boss skills, including percentage deduction, such as Bloody Sight, etc. Every time Elusive Thief Arsene activates its skill, the skill CD of all Monster Strike members will be reduced by 1. By triggering the character runestone of a Monster Strike member, that character will enter a hyper state for 2 rounds. Additionally, if there is Arsene in the team with 4 or more Monster Strike members in the team, if you stop your movement with a character runes under the column of Arsene, that column will become columns below 3 Arsenes will be converted into enchanted dark runes. Columns below the leader and ally will rank first in priority. This will apply mostly for a Arsene leader and ally team. And then we have the Monster Strike special where the craft apparatus will be fully charged and Monster Strike members have a 1.5 attack increase, and there is a certain chance that all your skills will go to 0 if you have a mono Monster Strike team in your if you have a mono Monster Strike team. So yeah, in my opinion, I think Arsene is going to be a really good leader and definitely a better leader than Mana. This is because you have a higher attack multiplier. 7.5 is pretty respectable in the current meta, but you also have many ways of increasing your attack multiplier as well. You have a ×4 attack multiplier and a ×1.5 attack multiplier. This ×4 attack multipliers is actually really easy to hit. It is pretty simple to just dissolve one column, and if you target that one column to be below your leader or ally, getting that team attack ×4 team attack is going to be pretty easy. Additionally, dissolving all runestones in both the columns of the leader and ally is also not that hard. So getting this 1.5 attack bonus is also going to be pretty easy, which means that you will have a consistent attack increase in addition to your 7.5 attack increase. Now the team, for her team skills, you also have a lot of enemy skill counters. You do counter Petrify runes since they will be restored to normal runes when you move through them, and you will not be stopped by Tornado. Tornado is a little bit more situational and is a little bit more rare, and tornadoes are usually on the sides, which isn't that much of a hassle. However, if one day Madhit decides to put tornadoes right in the middle, this skill will definitely be really useful because that means you can go through both halves of the board without having your runestone movement stopped. However, but yeah, that is pretty situational and I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. Other good things about her team skill is that you also have Runestone Possession effect, where all attribute runestones will have the effect of Dark Runes. And Dark Runes will also possess 50% of the effect of Heart Runes, which means that you'll be able to easily heal up since you'll have a good supply of recovery runes. This is because for every group of runestones dissolved in the first batch, one enchanted rune will be generated in the column below each monster strike member of its attribute and race. And the reason why this is good is because Arsene's leader skill already encourages you to dissolve the column below your leader and ally, which means that this is already going to give you guaranteed skydrop of dark runes underneath both the leader and the ally. Again, because Arsene is a dark human card, that means that you are going to have guaranteed skydrop of enchanted dark human card runes under the column of your leader and ally. And if you dissolve 3 combos, that's enough for you to get an extra combo of guaranteed skydrop. If you do more than that, you are also guaranteed a 5 combo, 4 combo, etc. based on the groups of runes that you dissolve. But this is also good because if you're running other Monster Strike members in your team, you can also get other attributes to fall down, and this is also going to help you break certain enchanted shields, quintet elemental shields, trio elemental shields, etc. based on the Monster Strike members that you have. So if you have a full rainbow team, you are going to be able to break quintet elemental enchanted shields just using her team skill alone. But yeah, so this guaranteed skydrop is really powerful in my opinion, especially because you're already incentivized to clear columns below your leader and ally, and at the very least you're going to get 2 extra combos after your initial movement. The fact that you can ignore Petrify Runes and Tornadoes, also a really good addition to her team skill, and definitely a good utility to have. This one, I think it is a nice bonus to have and does increase your survivability. However, I don't really see much use for it unless you're fighting against an enemy that has really low attack. And this is because enemies nowadays hit really hard, and the probability of you finding an enemy in the endgame content or harder stages that deals less than 20% of your total HP is actually really low given how hard enemies are hitting nowadays. The only reason you might encounter those are the crescendo enemies, where the first attack is pretty weak. But for those enemies, every subsequent attack is going to be stronger and stronger, so then this will not really affect you. And Bloody Scythe, it's nice to have. However, Bloody Scythe typically at later stages starts from 25%. So that 25% is already bigger than 20%, which means that you will not be able to decrease your damage to 1. However, if you do encounter enemies that will hit for less than 20% of your total HP, Arsene is going to be an amazing card to store for CD. And this is because all damage is lower to 1, so the amount of stalling you can do is going to be really easy, really significant. You can get all your skills ready, you can get everything ready before you move on. However, like I said before, enemies nowadays hit real hard, so this team skill might not really see that much use, but it is nice to have in her kit anyways. Next we have the every time Arsene activates an active skill, all other Monster Strike members except Arsene, or except that specific Arsene, will have their cooldowns reduced by 1. So yes, I think technically you can have an infinite loop of activating Arsene's, but we'll see later her active skill doesn't get that much benefit from activating it multiple times. This does mean I think you can activate it every round and have no problem with it, but in my opinion I would run other members in the team to help out with the utility and support capabilities. Next, again, character runestones is a pretty good thing to have because it does bypass the downside from playing any character runestones, so you are incentivized on running or using character runestones more using these Monster Strike leaders. If you are running out of dark runes, you can use Arsene's second passive, second team skill, where you can pull a character rune and finish movement under Arsene, and this is going to generate 3 enchanted dark columns. If you have 3 or more Arsenes in your team, or 3 or less Arsenes in your team. But yeah, so in my opinion, I think Arsene is going to be a really good leader, given all her attack multipliers, all the guaranteed sky drop, and having all that sky drop be attacking runes is definitely going to be a benefit for your damage output, and it is going to be pretty fun to play. She also comes with some enemy skill counters from the get-go, with their Tornado and Petrified runes. However, she does lack the ability to break initial shield, fix combo shield, and things like that, which means that she will be relying on members to do that utility. However, in terms of damage output, sky drop, and runestone possession, I think she has a pretty good kit for that, and it is going to be able to be a pretty good leader for the current meta. I do expect her to drop off a little bit more just because times 4 and times 1.5, while they're nice, it isn't anything super broken, and based out of damage output alone, it might get power crept in the near future. But yeah, overall, I do think Arsene is going to be a pretty good leader and definitely viable for some endgame content. Even though she has some downsides with shield breaking potential and some potential, yeah, basically just a shield breaking potential. But yeah, now let's take a look at her active skill. Her active skill is going to be a CD5 skill, and as all Monster Strike members of this seal, she does have two phases. For phase 1, we have Explode Heart Runes to generate enchanted attributed runestones. For 1 round, team attack and recovery increases by 1.8. Effect of all runestones increases by 100%. And when the team has 4 or more Monster Strike members, damage will be dealt regardless of anti-runestone shield. For phase 2, again if you wait for 2 more battle rounds, you get an upgraded version where now you have unlimited runestone movement time, and you are also able to restore cracked positions if you have 4 or more Monster Strike members in your team. In my opinion, this skill is actually not bad. CD5 is pretty fast, and the fact that you can explode heart runes, that is going to be good, because nowadays heart runes, some enemy skills will generate a lot of heart runes or block you from dissolving heart runes. So being able to explode the heart runes and generate enchanted attributed runestones is going to be pretty beneficial for certain teams. It is going to be a little bit situational, but definitely being able to explode heart runes is not bad. Team attack and recovery times 1.8 is actually pretty good. It is a much better option than having like a 1.8, a 1.2 or 1.3 increase. Having a 1.8 is actually pretty significant in terms of boosting your attack for the entire team. Additionally, if you have 4 or more Monster Strike members, you are able to launch damage regardless of anti-runestone shield, which is pretty good. And this is for the entire team. So definitely beneficial because a lot of cards that have this effect will only benefit themselves and not the entire team. However, for this to activate, you must be running 4 or more Monster Strike members, so this is going to limit a little bit your team building capabilities. If you wait for 2 more rounds, basically having this a CD7, you get a Time Tunnel effect, which if you watch my videos, Time Tunnel is one of the most powerful effects in the game because it allows you to stack your runes, ignore certain debuffs like sticky, lasers, burns, things like that, because you have free movement of your runestones. So having a CD7 time tunnel is going to be really beneficial in my opinion. Additionally, you are able to restore all cracked positions, and even though cracked positions are relatively new, they are really a pain to deal with because normally or usually they can be random. And so being able to restore cracked positions can save you a lot of pain, because depending on the position of the cracked runes, you might lose the run to RNG, or you might lose the run in general. And having a dedicated cracked position restorer is pretty is really good to have, because otherwise you might get killed by the enemy skill. And because cracked positions are relatively new, there aren't that many cards in the game that can restore them yet. The pool keeps increasing, but we still only have a handful of them that can restore the cracked positions, which means that Arsene being able to do that will definitely be beneficial to have in your team, especially if you're running a Monster Strike leader. However, moving forward, Arsene as a member, I don't think she will have that much use because everything else is pretty standard and you can find in other cards, and her actual good skills are tied behind a condition of having 4 or more Monster Strike members. But if we're talking in the future where the meta leaders are not Monster Strike, there is no way for you to satisfy this condition, which means that all your seal breaking utility will not really work in the future if you're not running a Monster Strike leader. But yeah, so in terms of running Arsene as a member, I think she does complement her own playstyle really well, but as a member, she will not really fit into many other teams because of the condition of having 4 or more Monster Strike members in order to get the crack position and anti-rule social breaking effects. So in my opinion, I think her active skill is good, complements her playstyle. CD5 is really fast, CD7 is really good for the effects that you obtain, so definitely being able to wait CD 7 rounds of cooldown is beneficial for her. But moving forward, once she falls out of the meta, her active skill will not see that much play in my opinion because of the conditions that it needs to activate. But yeah, so overall for Arsene, I do think she is a really good leader, and she also benefits from the fact that she has access to the entire dark attribute pool, since dark attribute has a lot of utility, has a lot of buffers, a lot of cards that you can use, and so definitely a really good team building potential there. But for her to benefit the most, you want to have 4 or more Monster Strike members, which will lock her out of certain team builds, and she also wants to have more Arsenes in the team. So if you have your leader and ally, that's 2, you might want to run a third one in order to benefit from her second team skill. And that also gives you more Monster Strike members to work with, which also gives you more benefit or flexibility in building your team. But generally, you do want to run different Monster Strike members to get more guaranteed Skydrop. So in terms of team building, she does have access to most of the dark members, dark attribute pool, but you still want to focus a little bit on the Monster Strike cards because those are the ones that will give you the guaranteed Skydrop for certain for you to increase your damage output and break certain shields. However, if you don't care about that, you can run a mono dark team with all dark utility cards, and that should still be fine because you still have 2 Monster Strike members that can benefit from all the team skills and active skills. But yeah, if you want to benefit fully from her active skill, you still need to bring 2 more Monster Strike members, but you can always bring like a Neo or one of the old Monster Strike cards, and that will still benefit or activate this active skill, and you still have 2 slots for you to fit any other utility cards. But yeah, and as a member, I don't think Arsene will be good for other dark teams, again because of the effects being replaceable by other cards in the game, and the condition of having 4 or more Monster Strike members in your team doesn't really benefit any other leaders that are not Monster Strike. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this card. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything or if I said anything wrong. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!